Or you must ask yourself why a love coach is now proposing session for kids. It is very simple. In my work with adults, I see how much your past influence how you behave in relationship, how you feel safe in relationship, your capacity of having fulfilling relationship, the safety that you have to be yourself and still be loved. And all that is influenced by your experience from your childhood. So the relationship you had with your parents, the relationship you have with your sister, brothers, at schools, with friends, or let's say with the outer world. And it is not always how it happened, but how the child perceived that it happened, and which kind of reaction mechanism it develops. So each time your kid had an emotional stress and he couldn't regulate by himself or with the help of an adult, it will be then saved in this survival system, in this autonomous nervous system. This is a normal process to build, let's say, your survival data bank as a child, because it is for your safety and for your survival to know what is safe, which relationship is safe and unsafe. The problem comes when the kid registers certain mechanism of reaction that is not helpful or will not help him in his relationship later on. For example, somebody make fun of him, and instead of just defending by word and calmly, he will become very aggressive and fight back. And here, the time will not solve the problem. On the contrary, it needs a really conscious regulation of the autonomous nervous system. Otherwise, the mechanism will be automatically proposed back as a reaction mechanism to the kids, and it will become more and more amplified. So the approach I am using for kids, it's particularly indicated if you have the feelings that your child is having more and more strong emotional reaction, that you don't always understand why, and you feel really powerless against it, or you don't know what to do. And these are for me that some things had made an imprint on the autonomous nervous system of your child. The polyvagal theory is the theory that explains all that. They often speaks about trauma, and I prefer to speak about emotional stress, because when we speak about trauma, we often have the feeling, oh, it must be something very big and very impactful. But actually, every time your child perceived, it's the perception of your child that is here more important, something as stressful, it can have an imprint in his autonomous nervous system. So, for example, if somebody took him a toy or tell him something, but it was not so hard or heavy, it can really have an impact on his autonomous nervous system. Of course, the more heavy experience, for example, a difficult birth, losing somebody by death in the early childhood, being separated from one parent, illness, accident, a lot of stress during the in utero period, all that, of course, have an impact on the child autonomous nervous system, but also maybe some, let's say, little experience that he has as a child with other child, as you might know. And this is the reason why for a child you don't you don't work on patterns because it's a bit early to see which pattern will be developed through this experience. You go on the other way around. You ask the child what was the stressful experience from him, what was the event that he remember and are stressful for him, and you look here what is the imprint of each of these events in the autonomous nervous system. This is the reason why for a child session you need usually 2 to 3 sessions to make the work. I also ask the parent to make a little assessment to see how was the in utero period. Did you have complication? Did you lose a child before? Did you have an abortion before? How was the birth? Was it easy? Was it hard? Did your child has a shock event like illness, accident? How were you with your husband or wife? Did you fight a lot or not? Because all that can have an impact on the autonomous system, and the aim is to not to feel guilty as a parent, because really you cannot avoid to that your child have something imprinted in the autonomous nervous system, but to say, okay, here I feel he has strong reaction, I feel he has lost self-confidence, he has this aggressivity in him, and I want to help him now before it's getting bigger. This is more the way to see that and to offer him this opportunity to release all these little things that are imprinting in his system. So if this approach talks to you, or you feel this is the right thing for your child, I let you read what you have on this page, and you can of course contact me for an appointment.